with that breaking news, a horrific scene in Charlottesville, Virginia, a white nationalist rally that descended into deadly violence and chaos.
On the night of August 5th, 2017, a group of protesters gathered in a field in Charlottesville, Virginia, near the recently renamed Emancipation Park. These protesters were there for a Unite the Right rally, and many considered them white nationalists. The chaos that broke out during the Unite the Right rally in Charlottesville, Virginia, was the culmination of rising tensions across the United States regarding the dispute between free speech and hate speech. At the center of this controversy was the Charlottesville City Council's decision to remove the statue of Robert E. Lee from Robert E. Lee Park.
The taking down of the statue was sort of like the match lighting the fire, but all the wood had been prepared beforehand.
Right. The white nationalist protesters were seen chanting a number of controversial chants, including White Lives Matter, Blood and Soil, and Jews will not replace us. This opened up a very public discourse on what is considered hate speech and what is considered free speech. Free speech originates from our Constitution's First Amendment. Free speech, however, includes hate speech, since the Supreme Court ruled unanimously in 2017 that hate speech is protected by the government. One of the earliest examples of the debate between free speech and hate speech was the 1952 Supreme Court case Beauharnais v. Illinois. In the 1940s, many states had begun to implement laws against hate speech. But in the early 1950s, Joseph Beauharnais was arrested for passing out pamphlets that were asking the city of Chicago to take action against the encroachment of African Americans. He was arrested on the grounds that he was making defamatory remarks on the basis of race, color, creed, or religion, which is illegal. When the case was brought to the Supreme Court, they ruled on behalf of the state of Illinois, who had convicted Beauharnais, claiming that the speech was possibly inflammatory, citing the racial tensions of the time. This set the precedent that hate speech may not be protected as free speech. The area is gray because there is no clear definition of hate speech under U.S. law. In the 1969 Supreme Court case, Brandenburg v. Ohio, a leader of the KKK was arrested for hate speech under Ohio law after making a speech at a rally for the group. The Supreme Court found that his arrest was unlawful because despite the hateful content, only speech that is meant to direct or could incite lawless action may be prohibited. The debate over whether hate speech is protected as free speech has intensified in recent years, with the push to be more politically correct becoming a trend across the country. As a nationwide push for gender, LGBTQ, racial equality, and respect has made differences of all types socially acceptable, there has also been a push to keep modern-day dialogue respectful and accepting as well. Many have pushed back against this mindset, however, believing that they are free to say whatever they want under the Constitution. In 2015, these issues were brought once again to the public spotlight, when a video emerged showing brothers of the Sigma Alpha Epsilon fraternity at Oklahoma University chanting a racist song on a bus to formal. The school deemed this outside the bounds of harmless free speech and expelled two brothers who led the chant and shut down the chapter at the university. And just 2 months before the Unite the Right rally, the Supreme Court unanimously ruled that hate speech is not an exception to the First Amendment. All of these debates and similar events over the course of American political history led to the incident at Charlottesville. The so-called white nationalists protesting the removal of the Robert E. Lee statue in Emancipation Park were there with the proper permits and had every legal right to demonstrate their viewpoints. Those who viewed their viewpoints and chants racist and hateful fought back with their own counter-protests, leading to a violent clash. The result of this breakdown in communication and conflict of ideas was utter chaos and destruction. The next morning, the protesters showed up early for the Unite the Right rally, and many carried shields, clubs, pistols, and even long guns. Counter-protesters also gathered early, holding sticks and shields. By 10:30 a.m., violence had erupted. The two sets of protesters fought, spraying pepper spray and beating each other with sticks. Law enforcement soon said that the assembly was unlawful, and Governor McAuliffe declared a state of emergency. At 1:40 p.m., a car plowed into a group of people in Charlottesville, killing 32-year-old mother and counter-protester Heather Heyer. At the end of the day, 19 people were sent to the hospital, and 3 had died, including Heyer and 2 police officers killed in a helicopter crash in response to the event. President Trump released a statement initially condemning violence, quote, on both sides.
When he said that there were good and bad people on both sides, that was really speaking to the people who voted for him.
But when criticized by the media for his comments, he released a stronger message, outwardly condemning white supremacists, KKK, neo-Nazi, and all extremist groups. The chaos that broke out in Charlottesville was extreme, but nonetheless indicative of the clash between two American values, freedom and equality. While many believe that hate speech should not be tolerated in the United States because the country is built on love and equality, it is technically protected under the First Amendment. This debate will continue to rage, but hopefully, violent outbursts by those on either side of this issue, like those that occurred at the Unite the Right rally in Charlottesville, Virginia, will never occur again.